Hey there, and happy Monday, the best day of the week, if you ask us. It's the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. Do not worry. Do not worry. No. Joe Yock will be the part of this.
I was worried, but now I'm not.
Now we're not. Yeah. Joe Yock will be a part of this episode. We have a great conversation with Bradley LeCroy, the new Liberty head baseball coach. Good talk with him. But before we get to that, we'll go kind of around.
News and notes.
News and
what? You like that?
There is a new segment this fall. News and notes. Where do we want to start? We want to start a little NFL talk?
Let's start a little NFL talk because a couple of former Liberty players involved in some news here over the week. First off, just brought to my attention right before we start here, Malik Willis. A lot of people asking, what's he doing? How's he doing? Apparently, according to reports out of Nashville, the best practice of his Titans career over the weekend. He's in a battle for that number 2 quarterback job behind Will Levis. He's battling Mason Rudolph, the veteran quarterback that's been with the Steelers. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that shakes out. But even so, having moments like that are important for him in case it doesn't work out in Tennessee and maybe he finds another opportunity elsewhere.
I mean, I haven't heard any trade talks, but do you think that is a possibility?
I think it's a possibility. Like just taking out how we feel about Malik out of it, right?
Right.
If you're the Titans and you have Will Levis, an unproven second-year starter, I think you would want a veteran in Mason Rudolph behind him. Right. That would make more sense. So in that case, Malik could end up being the odd man out there. And
there's been a lot of changes with that Titan staff since Malik
the whole
was drafted.
Staff, the GM. So that may not be the worst thing either. Hopefully he has a good preseason and he gets an opportunity, if not in Tennessee, somebody else that maybe it suits him better and that wants him, because there may not be a lot of people in that building that were part of bringing him in the first place.
Right. And then we shift gears to a team that each and every year, are they going to win the Super Bowl? Yes. It is the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
America's team. I think the Chiefs might be shifting to be the American.
There was
a brief stint up there in New England.
Yeah.
So Darrell Johnson, he might have an opportunity in Dallas there.
Yeah, so over the weekend, defensive end Sam Williams tore his ACL for the Cowboys. He had 8.5 sacks over the last 2 years. And at first, that didn't do a lot for me. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm like, tough break, whatever. But then you start thinking about it like, Darrell Johnson.
Right.
Like, he has an opportunity now at the defensive end spot. And he's one of the guys the Cowboys are mentioning as like, hey, could he be the one to step up and fill that void? So was on the practice squad a lot last year for the Cowboys, still in that organization. Obviously, we remember his final year with the Flames 2 seasons ago.
Just
absolute
insane.
Stud.
Yeah.
So a huge opportunity for him. Hopefully one he can take advantage of, and you feel like this is his moment, right? This is his chance. The doors are opening. Hopefully he can step through and take advantage of it.
I'm super pumped for him. We'll keep you in the loop with that. And then, of course, we have Demario Douglas up in New England.
Right.
We are actually getting some of his story put together.
Yeah.
We've already been down to Jacksonville to get his high school coaches. We're going to get mom grandma, and great-grandma.
Yeah.
That's like, if you didn't know, I'm kind of giving a little away, but he wears the number 3 because of those 3 awesome women in his life. So can't wait to share his story moving forward.
Yeah. One other NFL note I saw over the weekend, Story Jackson was working out for the Lions. So Story has kind of been, he was in the UFL for a little bit. He did some practice squad stuff. So he worked out for the Lions. Not sure how that ended up sorting out for him, but he's still getting some NFL workouts as well.
And then it might not be the NFL, but we have another former Flame who's making some moves.
Frankie Hickson, a local Lynchburg kid who for Liberty set the career record for all-purpose yards. He's been in the CFL with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's been kind of an up and down time for him. Remember, he went was 3 years since he finished college before he actually got that contract.
Again.
There was COVID in there,
we
really messed anything up. But he had 1 carry all season for them heading into this past Thursday. Their starting running back got hurt. They gave him the opportunity. 16 carries, 117 yards, a touchdown, also a catch for 16 yards. And he blew up on social media. They love him in Saskatchewan. And why not? Great guy. And so good to see him have some success. And hopefully this carves out a little bit more of a role for him going forward as well.
So, Matt, could you say that he had an opportunity and he ran with it?
He did. He did run with it. I think he had it was like a 70-yard touchdown run he had in that game.
Yeah.
So good for Frankie. Everybody loves him. Good to see him having some success.
Here for your dad
North
jokes.
of the border.
Emily Austin with the dad joke. We have story time coming up as well. Joe Yock, you know that he's going to have his story time, so you don't want to miss that. But some MLB news. For the Flames. We are having, oh my gosh, my mind is blanking, Matt Warner.
Should I sit here and just let you twist him?
Fraser Eller.
Fraser Eller.
You know, coming out of Nashville.
Yeah.
We do have boots on the ground in Nashville.
It's funny. I don't want to take too much credit here. Honestly, I wasn't there, so I can't. But we went, a Flame Central crew. We send to Nashville to catch up with Fraser Ellard. He's pitching AAA for the White Sox. Shoot a story with him that's going to come out here in the near future. What do you know? Like 2 days later, the White Sox, prospect list, they bump him up in the top 30, according to MLB Pipeline. So he's having a really good career, or season, I should say. An ERA under 4, 59 strikeouts and 40 innings of work. He's a guy, we've talked about him, Mason Fluharty, Will Wagner, 3 guys that have been at AAA all year and have all performed really, really well. All 3 of those guys could see the bigs before the season is out.
Once again, we do a story here at Flame Central, and we send the crew out, and then these guys just blow up.
We're the pioneers. Everybody else kind of gets in after the fact.
We really struggle with our heads are going to blow up on this show eventually. Yes, but some great stories coming out for you this summer. Believe it or not, fall camp starts on Wednesday. We are 2 days away from the start of fall camp. Some say that it's getting ready for the upcoming season. Others are scouting for their Flames fantasy draft team.
I'm glad you brought that up.
The Flame Fantasy League is this 3rd or 4th year?
4th year.
4th year.
I won the first 2 years. You won last year.
Yeah.
Joe Yock has yet to win.
Yeah,
we want to keep that
analysts.
going. Yeah, we want to keep that
Let's
going.
find an analyst that knows nothing about the team.
Emily's already started working the phones with our coaching staff. Who do I need to be looking out for? Who's a sleeper? But yes, we're going to draft that on, what did we say? The
week of the 19th of August. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully we'll get some of the coaches leading into this season. I really want to catch up with Kyle Krantz and talk a little defense for the Flames, because that's going to look much different this year. It's the news and notes on the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. Anything else?
That's it.
Before we get to this conversation with head baseball coach Bradley LeCroy. It has been a busy summer here on the mountain. Another new head coach has made it on the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Let's go, Coach.
It's new head baseball coach Bradley LeCroy. Coach, so the first thing you do when you get on campus is you come on the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. You stood us up, was it 2 or 3 times?
What
else do you have going on that you can't just come and join us on the podcast?
I think it was 1 time.
Okay.
But a little busy this time of year.
Right.
Yeah, well, welcome. Congratulations. Great to see you. Like I said, on this side of things, you obviously were here with VCU a couple months ago. Like to see you in red and blue, though. Welcome to the mountain.
Thank you.
Has this been a complete whirlwind for you? And tell me about the last couple days.
Yeah, it's obviously been great. Super excited to be here. The transition, the job, came open with Coach Jackson resigning. Fortunate that Liberty moved quick, was able to get in place. And now the past 7-8 days, just been working on roster management, trying to figure out who's coming and going. But it's been great. The guys in the program are unbelievable young men. The support staff has been unbelievable in support. But it's been a busy time, but I enjoy it. Can't wait to get started in the fall. Looking forward to great things.
Yeah, like for you talk about that transition. Did you reach out when you heard the job came open? Did Ian reach out to you? Was this even on your radar, I guess? And how quickly did it turn that way?
Yeah, it really wasn't on my radar because nobody knew that Coach Jackson was gonna do this. And obviously Coach Jackson's a really good friend of mine. We've been friends for over 20 years in the coaching profession. And it's funny, we both cut our teeth when we were young at the Division II level. I was at Anderson College in South Carolina, and he was at Barton College. We were in the same conference. We played each other. And we stayed friends the whole time. And then he made the decision, and Liberty reached out to me about would I have interest, and I said absolutely. And then had a couple calls, was on campus, and here we are.
Before we turn the page on Coach Jackson and everything, when we had your call when you were at VCU for the game in March, you told us a funny story about a song that they played.
Yeah. This is a great story. When we were coaching Division II ball, he was the pitching coach at Barton College, and he goes out to do a pitching mound visit, and they played the song "Sorry, Miss Jackson."
Oh, nice.
And I don't think he was too happy. I don't think he was too happy about that, but we thought it was funny.
It was great.
So, Coach, as you come here to Liberty and the obviously VC from the past, but what's your recipe for success to take Liberty's baseball program to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I think the program's in really good shape. I mean, obviously, they didn't have the year that they wanted to last year, but I think a lot of it had to do with injuries, right? They had some, big injuries on the mound, and we all know if you don't pitch at a high level, you're not going to win at a high level. So really like what the pieces are inside the program. The program is built on recruiting. It's about player acquisition because as coaches, good players make good coaches, great players make great coaches, right? So the better players, and that was one of the biggest things that we were able to turn around quickly at VCU is after my first year inheriting that program with what we had, we recruited at a high level in different areas, right? We hit the portal, we hit the junior college, we did the high school, and we hit on them, and we turned around, won a championship, went in the postseason.
With that being said, how much does Liberty's commitment to everything that they're doing from a facility standpoint really be a part of your decision making in this job?
I mean, it was huge. I mean, college landscape is changing, and to be at a university that has great facilities and resources not only for the coaches but the student athletes to develop and get better. And then in baseball, we're here shortly. We're going to find out where baseball is going to become a head count sport, where we're going from 11.7 to 30 to 35 scholarships. And so we're going to be close to like football, where all our scholarships are going to be full rides. And there's a lot of schools that aren't going to be able to afford to do that.
Right.
And it's going to separate more. And fortunately here at Liberty, we have the resources where we're going to be able to compete at the highest level.
Another big part of recruiting is evaluating players. What makes you such a good evaluator?
Yeah, I think experience, right? And I've had some great mentors along the way, and Coach Leggett, who I played for at Clemson and coached for, Kevin O'Sullivan, who's the head coach at Florida, taught me a lot when I was a young GA at Clemson, coaching underneath him. And then I think the biggest thing is just always evolving, because the game is, right? Now, data and analytics are so important. It's not the end-all of end-all, but it can tell you so much, and being able to understand that because you can see some outliers, especially on the pitching side. But also, there's the part of it is the ability of the player, but I feel like I'm a really good relationship guy, right? So I can get to know the kids, they trust me, and then once they trust you and buy in, you can do a lot of great things.
I'm glad you brought up data and analytics. So, like, the past couple of years, especially this past season, we're out and about talking to fans because we're a show of the people, for the people, with the people.
With the people.
We're the people.
And one of the big things we always hear about is, on the pitching side especially, you hear all the talk about all the analytics, all the metrics, all the the vertical movement, all the spin rate, all these things. But then then our walks are 250th in the country.
Right.
Like how do you kind of take those two sides of, here's what the metrics say, here's the execution piece that needs to be there. How do you kind of figure those two things out and kind of balance the two?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, stuff is important, right?
Yeah.
When I say stuff, I mean throwing the ball 95, 96 miles an hour. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to throw strikes. I think probably every pitching staff in the country has 2 or 3 guys that throw 95, but they never pitch because they can't throw strikes.
Yeah, right.
Because you got to play really good defense, and you got to pitch. You cannot give up freebies.
Yeah.
And obviously walks, HBPs, errors are freebies. But I think where the analytics and the stuff comes in is that you can see the guy's got a big induced vertical fastball, right? A hoppy fastball.
As they said about you, man.
Or his breaking ball is spinning at a high rate.
Yeah.
Now, as a coach, that's your job to get that fastball in the zone. And is it easy? It's not easy. But that's where other things come in, right? I mean, force place mounds, biomechanical movements with the Qualis cameras, slow motion edgertronic cameras. Technology has helped us as coaches so much. But you got to be able to use the tools too.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said at the beginning of his answer?
Great question.
That's such a great question.
Yeah.
Why does no
one
one
ever says
ever
that.
say
Yeah.
that
No.
about
No.
my questions?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Coach. How would some of your former players describe you as a coach?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I think
Finally.
I think they would describe me as a highly competitive person, right? But they also, one thing that I stress, and hopefully they would reiterate this, is like, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have fun, right? I tell the guys all the time that, when you get out of class or you wake up in the morning, I want you to be excited to come to the field, right? Now, we're going to work hard and we're going to have some really good days. We're going to have some bad days. That's part of life, right? But we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have fun. I'm a very positive person. I think we're going to win every game. I think we're going to get every recruit. I think it's going to be 75 and sunny every day. And sometimes.
Well, welcome to. I mean, you're not coming from far, but that's not the case here.
But yeah, I think they would say that highly competitive, enjoys what he does. Makes the experience great. But at the end of the day, we're gonna enjoy this journey, and we're going to win a lot of ball games.
From your style of player and your style of play, standing at the plate, what do the fans expect to see? Is it a small ball type of team and we're going to run the bases, or is it like, man, we want dudes that are just going to pound it out of the park? A combination of both. What's your style?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Excuse me.
See,
great question. Yeah.
Sorry.
Coach, that's perfect, by the way.
No,
you couldn't have played that any better.
You
couldn't have played that any better.
You get the show.
Yeah. Couldn't have played that any better.
See how many games I do for you this year.
I think you have your philosophies and your staples of your program, but I think every team is different, right? Depending on how you recruit, who's coming, who's going. If you got 6 or 7 guys in the lineup that have a lot of power, you're going to play for the 3-run homer. If you don't have that, then you got to figure out how to manufacture runs with the short game, still in hit and run, different things like that. But still evaluating the roster, what we have, adding some pieces. We just added a couple of really good pieces yesterday to our roster. So for the first team I have at Liberty, the fall is going to be very important evaluating what we have. Obviously, a little familiar with them. Played them twice over the last year and then played them the year before. I've talked to Coach Jackson. We've kind of broken down the roster and go from there. But there's a lot of new pieces. There's some returning pieces. But the number one thing we stress from day one is pitching, throwing strikes, and playing defense. Because if you do those two things, you got a chance to win every game. And then from a roster standpoint, offensively, it just depends on what your skill set is.
Right. Yeah. Having just taken over a program only 2 years ago, do you feel more prepared making this transition now? How are you more prepared doing it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great question.
Absolutely. My wife actually asked me that 2 nights ago, sitting in the hotel here on campus. When I took over the job at VCU, it was about 2.5 weeks later. And I wasn't prepared as far as having a list of guys to bring in, guys who were leaving the program. And this time, getting the job a little bit, with some time left before school starts, it gives me time to meet the guys here, find out who wants to stay, who doesn't. That's part of college athletics now, right? But also I had a really good list of guys who we were recruiting or we had already signed at VCU who are really good players. So we were prepared a lot. I'm sleeping a lot better.
That's good.
This summer than I was 2 summers ago.
We were just talking wow, this was like a short turnaround, and we're coming up on school starting. So that's good that you're looking at it as a positive.
Yes, that's right.
75 and sunny. So 8th head baseball coach in program history. At one point, you were the number 9 assistant coach in the nation by Baseball America. Clemson, Tennessee, Western Carolina, Anderson. What did you learn as an assistant coach that you're implementing in your head coaching style today?
Yeah, I'm fortunate to work for, 4 different head coaches, and every one of them, I gained a lot of knowledge in certain areas. And a lot of it goes to, Coach Leggett, the guy that I played for, then I coached with at Clemson. Like I said, Kevin O'Sullivan, who's the head coach at Florida, taught me a lot. Todd Raleigh, who I worked for at Western Carolina and at Tennessee, a great offensive mind, learned a lot of hitting stuff from him. And then, I owe a lot to Joe Miller, who was the head coach at Anderson College, a D2 school. And, I just got done playing, and he gave a 23-year-old a chance, $4,000 job, and said, hey, you want to come learn on the job? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And, you know, for him, the one thing that I give him credit about, like, he just let me go, right? And that was the best way to learn, because I learned from my mistakes in recruiting, especially things not to do. And he just let me go, and I think that was the best learning experience I ever had. So, but I've been fortunate to coach a lot of really good players, learn from those guys, been around a lot of good other assistant coaches. You know, I've been very blessed in my career to work at some great places and learn from some great people.
And you're bringing a family here to the mountain. You said they're the number one reason that you had to talk with them before taking this opportunity. 2 sons. If you are looking to move to Lynchburg, I do have a guy for you, by the way. We can get you guys set up. Joe Yock, Yock Talk, baby. It's almost too easy. Alcova Mortgage can hook you up. Liberty is doing a deal with them real quick. You want to give a little shout out? We're going into commercial.
We're going commercial right now. So just inform Coach that we have a Friends of Liberty program set up here for Liberty alumni, staff, employees. Receive a 1% of your total loan amount discount up to $5,000 off of your closing costs. So it's the best deal going. So we look forward to being able to help you and your family and your staff and those looking to purchase as you guys try to get settled in here.
Yeah.
Great.
Another question for me, though, I'm curious, just from the outside where you've been these last number of years. Looking at the Liberty program, what did you think of it then, and think of it in terms of the ceiling of this program? and obviously now on this side of it, has that changed, or what are your thoughts now?
No, not really. I mean, Liberty's always in our profession been a very attractive job, not only from, you know, the resources and the commitment from the athletics, but the university, the community. Everyone talks about, you know, the job at Liberty all the time. And then with the move to Conference USA makes the job even better, right? I mean, because it's a really good baseball conference. You know, our world is about winning conference championships, but also our ultimate goal is to get to Omaha, right? And to do that, you got to get in the postseason. And to be in a conference that's a multi-bid league, so you're not really only playing for one weekend at the end of the year. That's where the Conference USA comes into play. I mean, you've got great programs, you know, Louisiana Tech, Dallas Baptist, Liberty, and all the other ones. But it showed last year, I mean, 2 teams got in. It could be up to 3 or 4 in the past. So it's a really, really good tool for us in recruiting, but also building our schedule and be able to achieve our ultimate goal.
To piggyback a little bit off Matt's question, the uniqueness of Liberty being a faith-based university, what has your faith meant to you, and then how do you plan on implementing that into the lives of your players?
Yeah, I mean, it's important, right? And my family is, you know, number one priority in our faith and being believers. And you know, I'm looking forward to surrounding myself with the young people in our program. Yeah, I'm fortunate that, and she knows this, that, you know, Camden Troyer, I got to coach for a year at Clemson.
Yeah, that's right.
And so able to reconnect with him. And I just saw him the other day in the facility and how much he's grown as a young man. And we had a really good conversation. And he kind of told me about the team and being a student athlete here at Liberty and what it means to him. And his family has a long tradition here at this university. But I'm looking forward to getting to know these guys and continue to dive into them and love on them. I think that's one thing that my former players will say, that like they know that I care about them, not only as players, but as people, you know, and beyond their years in baseball.
Coach, for a hard-hitting question, how many times are you guys going to wear the baby blue uniforms? Are you a fan of them?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Yes,
Hey,
congratulations.
can someone rip that off so I can just like have it on repeat in my office?
My 12-year-old is a big gear uniform guy.
Okay.
Okay, so he's already talking about our uniform combinations. He set them out for us at VCU. He designed.
Let's go.
He designed some custom shoes for us last year. I mean, he says he's a sneakerhead, but he, you know, I don't know if he really is. But we walked in the facility, saw the baby blues, and he went crazy.
I love it.
And he watches YouTube, Wheels, all that kind of things, and he knows that Ole Miss wears them every Sunday. He's like, Coach, I mean, he's like, Dad, you got to wear these, and he wants us to wear them every Friday.
I was gonna suggest
so
that.
We'll see. I know that talking to the guys, you know, I think they went away from them a little bit because they weren't playing good in them the past couple of years.
Coach was a little
But I look forward to wearing them because I think they're sweet.
It's kind of the chicken or the egg thing.
Yeah.
Do you play good because you wear them, or do you have to play good to get to wear them?
Yes.
Are you a big superstitious guy?
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. I'm not a huge superstitious guy. Like, I like routines, right?
The routine as compared to superstition.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, if we set it at home, we wear the baby blues on Friday, whites, then navy or red. I'm a big guy like that.
Yeah, gotcha.
So we'll have to do like a little feature on your sign, and we can have the whole organization of the shoe design and all that. We'll get that going. Guys, have anything else?
A local
fire,
local tip, Coach. Local tip. Local tip.
Okay.
No more Starbucks. We're going to Joe Bean's Coffee. Give Joe Bean's a plug.
Yes.
They have the best coffee in town.
They don't help us, Andy.
I'm pretty sure.
What are we doing?
I'm pretty sure.
You have side deals going on we don't know
I'm pretty
about?
sure we have another coffee company that's one of our sponsors.
Joe's swinging through on his
I think
way
so.
home and it's like, hey, give me a mention.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
Let's
don't
not.
know.
We're not
Let's
getting into
Joe
that.
Bean's
okay.
I'm just trying to get you good coffee.
I got you.
I'm just trying to get you good coffee. No
Oh
more
wait,
than
do we
that.
have a couple more true false? True false. You took this job because you wanted to be in the dugout with the heaters.
True.
Yeah, you didn't get them when you came
Because
here.
you don't get them in the
No,
visitor.
No,
in the visitor.
and Coach Jackson's mentioned that several times to me.
Yeah.
And even when we came here,
It was freezing.
it's freezing,
It
freezing
was
cold.
so cold.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
My other true false is Liberty will make a regional this upcoming season.
True.
There you go.
Let's
Didn't
go.
hesitate.
Didn't hesitate right
You
out
heard
of the
it.
gate.
You heard it.
Yeah.
You're first.
I got a couple quick ones for you.
Yep.
Most talented player you've ever coached?
That's probably at the collegiate level, Seth Beer.
Okay. Yeah. He was power hitter, right?
Yeah,
Big time.
National Player of the Year as
Yeah.
a freshman, first rounder, big leaguer.
Yeah.
Been fortunate to coach a lot of them. I mean, most talented player I ever played with was Khalil Green.
Oh yeah, he was a stud.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that was back when I was in college. He was a stud.
You haven't seen Matt Warner.
Yeah,
right?
Matt Warner.
Matt was a heck of a second baseman. Is that you?
Second-
Shortstop.
Same
Shortstop,
difference.
power hitter,
Gritty.
There's a-
showed up every day.
Every day.
Hey,
Showed up to work every
I kept
day.
showing up.
And Coach,
you know?
just to let you know,
Yeah.
and I've heard this, not from him. There's words on the streets. There's a young kid by the name of Jack Warner that is bombing the ball right now. And you just may, I know it's a little bit out in the future, but you just may want to keep an eye on that kid.
We'll figure something out. Favorite pro teams?
Big Braves fan, Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
Just growing up in the South.
Yeah.
And then obviously Spencer Strider, who's hurt out this year. I was able to coach him at Clemson. Great young man. And as far as NFL, like growing up in the South, I was more of a college football guy.
Who was your college team growing up?
Well, went to Clemson.
Yeah, went to Clemson,
Yep. So, but I guess my oldest son is a big Panthers fan.
Okay.
So I guess I would be a Panthers fan. But we're diehard Braves.
Okay.
Like,
It's easier to be a Braves fan than a Panthers fan.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate from Clemson?
2001.
2001. Very good.
Last question for me. Away from baseball, any other hobbies, any other interests? What else do you enjoy?
Yeah, love to play golf.
Okay.
Don't have,
Let's
a lot
go.
of, don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
The great thing about COVID was I played 4 times a week because that was the only
Yeah.
thing you could do.
Uh-huh.
My
Right.
handicap went like this. Now it's like this. But I love to play golf. Kids and I, we enjoy to fish when we have time.
Yeah.
But with 2 young boys, with travel baseball and basketball, not a lot of time. But I love to get on the golf course and
Coach, I'll take
hit
you
the
out to
little
play a
white ball
golf.
around.
I'll take you out to the club. We'll play a little golf.
And-
Have a good
and-
time.
and
You let
Joe
me know
has
when you let me know when we have a little break and we'll tee it up and have a good time.
Joe has a whole pickleball set up at his
play
house
any
too.
pickle?
Yeah, I like pickleball.
Do you?
Yeah. My wife.
Well, somebody just dropped out of
somebody
the
fell out.
It's called the JPL. The
Yeah, I
York
got
Pickleball League.
just a little league, Coach. Just a small little league. It's no
They
big deal.
handle it like Augusta, so they won't let me play.
Yeah. it's-
I'm like trying to
some
fill
pretty
this
strict
spot.
rules.
Don't get me
Yeah, right.
started.
If you're a member, you get a jacket.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Okay.
You don't have to play in the jacket, do you?
No,
you don't want to play.
You could.
You can if you'd like.
Yeah.
I actually
guy in a little-
have played in the jacket.
you
before. Yeah.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. Like
Great
I
to meet
said, great to have you here on the mountain. We'll get you out, we'll do a little out of the office. We already have features going through our heads about what we're going to promote your program. So congratulations again and welcome.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So excited to see what Coach LeCroy does with this program moving forward. And it's still in a good spot for him to, I don't know if we'd call it a rebuild. I guess the team's going to look so different, so maybe it would be a rebuild.
I think now it would be, just based off, excuse me, the number of people we've seen that have departed.
Right.
It would be a rebuild. But here's the key. Like, you go back over his career, he has been an elite recruiter.
Right.
Like at Clemson, Tennessee. Like, he has been, like, gotten national recognition for being one of the best recruiters in the country. You saw what he did at VCU in 2 years. We talked about that with him. But he's going to have to do that again here because basically you looked at the starting lineup and going into the offseason, we're like, well, you know, you fix the pitching a little bit. You bring back all these guys.
You gotta make
They're
a
all
whole
gone.
new lineup.
Like, according to reports, they're all gone. So he will have to rebuild.
And I'm not saying that's going to happen each and every year on these college teams because of the transfer portal. But, I mean, obviously there's a coaching change, so it's going to be much more severe. But, I mean, look what he did with the same thing at VCU, like you just said. So I had to talk the guys off the ledge after the whole Hugh Freeze, Jamie Chadwell. Everyone's leaving. Everyone's leaving. Yeah. And then look what Jamie Chadwell did, and we're going into another.
Em was anytime a coach leaves, Em drags herself in the office. She's like, you see her in the office, like, what's the point? What's even the point of all this? And you gotta say, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be great.
I get emotionally attached, but I'm getting better. We're working through it.
You're growing.
Definitely growing. All right, excited to see the Flames, and excited to see Flames Nation, you know, jump back on this team and go out there and support them in the spring and all that. So we'll see.
Remember, we host the conference tournament.
Yes.
So
that is a big deal. So Flames Nation will need to show back
year.
up. And then Coach also, you know, saying he's going to still play these top opponents that Jackson, you know, the Virginias, the Virginia Techs and stuff. So excited to see where the program goes. Okay, Olympics is happening right now. Have you and the fan been watching?
We are all in on the Olympics.
Love the
You a big Olympics fan?
Yes, I love the Olympics. I love watching women's gymnastics. And I'm just I'm just like, how in the world can she tumble like that? I don't know. And I sit there and try to do a cartwheel and I break
Here's
my
my big takeaway, and I may have talked about this in previous years when the Olympics have taken place. Every Olympic, I'm like, you know, this is the one sport that would be so much fun to play, and I've never actually seen it played anywhere in the U.S. Team handball. Have you watched this?
I haven't watched.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like on a basketball court with like a 3-point line, but instead of a hoop, it's like a smaller soccer goal, and you're throwing like a smaller soccer ball. Have you seen it?
I don't think I've seen this.
But you have to shoot it outside this 3-point line. So they're like running, jumping up, and trying to sling it past a goalie. It looks awesome. Like you're passing it to teammates. You can like take one dribble. Don't know all the rules, but it's basically like you're trying to throw it. It's almost like water polo on land in some ways.
Yeah.
It looks like it would be an absolute blast. I've never even heard of it being played anywhere in the United States. We have a team somehow.
We don't. Or we do? We do have a team?
The U.S. has a team.
Oh,
yeah, but I don't know.
I've never seen it played, I don't think.
Hold on. We've got breaking news. Just got this in. Fraser Ellard is headed to Chicago. They're the taxi squad. So it's kind of like they're there in case some deal trades go down here. Trade deadline coming up here in a couple of days. If something happens and they need an arm, he's there. So, breaking news. Fraser Ellard.
Hey, our audio guy, Alex, Alex Short, can you like
Is that
breaking news?
I think yours was good enough. But there you go. Congrats to him. Just since we've been taping this.
Look at that.
Good
for
Fraser.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So we had a missed opportunity here. We could have done like Olympic Games Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. You, me, and Joe doing like 3 Olympic sports. Like, did you see the diver like totally backflopped?
Yes.
Like we could. This is a missed opportunity.
I know.
How long is the Olympics? Do we still have time?
Yeah, I don't know if we have time.
This could have been so much fun.
It could have been. We did one year before you got here, the Go Challenge in the summer, and it was kind of like that, different events. But then, like, I ended up just blowing everybody out, so it kind of lost the drama. It didn't really work out. I will say, Brendan Pitcher, Liberty track athlete, we did a great piece on him winning a conference championship earlier this year. He is at the Olympics with Athletes in Action. He's there working, so he's going to be sending us some videos back for the TV show, so be on the lookout for that. And then also, one other thing for the Flame Central TV show this week, story on women's soccer coach Lang Wiedemeyer and an incredible run he did through Spain earlier this year. We'll share the purpose behind it. Not something I can do. I can guarantee
you got Coach Wiedemeyer going to do that, and we can't even get Joe to run a mile.
Get Joe to run a mile. Coach Wiedemeyer is
doing 30 a day.
A marathon every day for 2 weeks, and Joe's like, I don't know about the mile.
How many laps is a mile?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get back on countdown for that. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, don't forget to check out Flames Central this Friday at 3 o'clock.
Mailbag. If you have questions, we're going to be out at camp as it gets going. If you have questions about the team, expectations for the year, flamecentral@liberty.edu. Go ahead and send us your questions. Also,
And we'll send you a mug.
should we do anything with is there any way we can incorporate people in the fantasy draft or
We should, maybe we'll talk about this off the air.
Yeah.
This is just coming
I
to
like
my mind.
when we just spark this live.
flamecentral@liberty.edu, and you can send in who's going to I don't know, maybe a mock
Or a sleeper.
a sleeper, and each person we pick one email, and you have Joe sleeper, Emily sleeper, and Matt sleeper, and you pick an additional person. And whoever has the best score, you can add that on to yours.
Oh, boy.
Something like that.
We're going to have to work this out.
The Snell scoring system might get a little messed up from that.
You know what we should do, though? We do the game picks in the Snell scoring system. Should we include, one fan submission every week?
Yeah, I think we should.
Us against the people?
Right. No, we're for the people, not against the people.
That's right. Yeah.
But we will figure something out to get you guys more involved in the Flames Fantasy League, because I want everyone to feel like I do, a winner. So these awful pixelated mugs. I'm going to redesign the mugs. So you might want to, actually send something in this year, because flamecentral@liberty.edu. We're going to do a photo shoot next week. We'll have a better picture on here that instead of the copy machine that Joe did. And then you might be able to read Alcova Mortgage on the back without going like this. So that's coming your way this fall.
Photo shoot.
All right. We're going to, us three are doing a photo shoot. I got to talk to Cassidy. She doesn't know about it yet.
Okay, yeah.
They're doing the other fall sports, so I figured we just hop in. We haven't done it in 2 or 3 years. So
iron a shirt.
I have some crow's feet that they needed to zoom in on and fix. Thanks so much for listening or watching the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. We will have some football coaches and players on the next coming weeks, so be sure you stay tuned from here on out. We'll see you then.
See you.